So recently, I took a trip to Forbidden Planet. Not just one, but I took a trip to all nine in the UK. It took me 3 days, 2.5 days really. I started around 12 o'clock on Friday and I finished at 5 o'clock on the Sunday. All right, so most of the stuff that I collected was just trying to shrink the gap and get up to date with all the series that I currently have. Things like One Punch Man, Chainsaw Man, Dragon Ball Super. A lot of Shonen stuff because that's pretty much all I was collecting like 10 years ago. So I still got all the stickers on there. So I purchased One Punch Man Volume 2 and 23, and I believe this is the most up to date. And I got Dragon Ball Super 10, 13, and 14. And then I picked up Spike's Family. I got Volume 1 for Christmas and Volume 2 as well. And I know the anime is going to be starting soon. And I remember reading the first like 3-4 chapters online. This was very, very funny. So I picked up 3, 4. What is this? That's 5 and 6. And I think America just got Volume 7. Sadly, in the UK, we have to wait a very, very long time. And then I got Burn the Witch. I have not read Bleach in many years, but I really enjoyed Burn the Witch. I don't know if he's going to be continuing this series at all or make it into something special, but yeah, I think it's a simple story. If you're a fan of Bleach, I think you're going to enjoy this as well. So not only did I want to try and get through all Forbidden Planets, but I also wanted to try and read Chainsaw Man, but I only had 4 volumes at the time. So I managed to pick up volume 5, 6 and 9 all on the first day, which is great. And then I ended up finishing the series within like 24 hours, probably 6 hours, 7 hours. I read the whole series over the course of 24. And then I picked up volume 1 of Undead Unluck. For the longest time, I didn't enjoy reading this series. I just thought it was kind of, I don't know, crass and crude. The main character, Andy, he's like fondles the girl here, so Fuko. He fondles her a lot, touching her boobs, touching her skin and stuff. So I thought it was kind of weird. But then it got really good. And by the time I started getting interested in it, volume 1 was out of print, and well, not out of print, out of stock, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Yeah, Undead Unluck really does have a horrible first chapter. I wasn't too sure how I felt, and even the chapters after that, I feel like Andy's really hands-on. I purchased volumes 3 and 4 of Mashle Magical Muscle. They did have volume 5 in one shop, but I didn't pick it up because I thought because it's the newest volume, they'll have more in the next shops. And then that was it. It was just the one volume out of the 9 stores I tried to get to. That was the only volume that they had, and I put it back. I should have picked it up. And then because Forbidden Planet is really mainly it's got an abundance of shonen series, so most of it I already had. So I went into some stores and there was nothing that I really wanted, but I did recently pre-order volume 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I thought if I've got 13 I need the rest. So I got volume 0, 1, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 and 12. I almost picked up volume 13 as well. I'm lucky I didn't because obviously I'd pre-ordered that, but there's still a few more that I need to collect, and I've looked online and they're all available. They just weren't in the stores when I needed them. I think 2020 I was going to give my younger brother, I was going to give him Comey Can't Communicate, but then we went into lockdown and we couldn't see our families, and then the year after I didn't give it to him. I kind of just kept it, and now it's sitting on my shelf. I decided to pick up volume 2, and then I also managed to pick up volume 3 and 4 just because they were there. And then I've had this one for a long time, Nisekoi. So I've got volumes, what's this, 17, 19, 20 and 25. And 25, because it's the last volume, it's so thick in comparison. At $6.99 UK pounds, and in dollars it's $9.99. Actually, if I take my Dragon Ball series that I'm currently reading, this is $7.95 US dollars. When was this published? 2005, 2016. So in 11 years, it's gone up by $2. That's crazy. And then if you compare it to Mashle, so Mashle this only got released, I think, late last year or early this year, and it's still $9.99, which is the same as the 2016 series. But it's gone up in pounds. So it's gone up from $6.99 in pounds to $7.99, which is a little bit annoying, but it's still interesting to see how inflation has affected the price of manga. I also collect Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I watched the anime several years ago, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. A few people have recommended it, and it was kind of there again. By the time I got to this particular store, I had pretty much everything that I needed, so I needed to pick up something new. So kind of moving away from a lot of the shonen stuff, I then picked up Die Dark, who is by the same author of Dorohedoro. This is a great, it's not, I wouldn't call it horror, but it's a dark sci-fi fantasy series, and the comedy that comes along this is ridiculous. If you've read Chainsaw Man, that's kind of like a dark fantasy series, and this is very similar, but there's so much more comedy. The main character is so nonchalant about dying. His band of friends that he has just all bounce off each other, and he has this dog that controls his ship, and it talks to him and makes sure everything's clean. It's super funny. Upsets me that a lot of Viz media, their standard stuff that comes from Shonen Jump, just doesn't have any color pages. Upsets me. I've had The Promised Neverland almost completed for a while now. I was missing some of the middle volumes, so 12, 13, 18, 19, and 20. And then I picked up Cool Girl from Another World just because it was there and it was cellophane, and I wanted to pick up something that was shrink wrapped. And this was the only thing that they had. They had a volume of Golden Kamui, but I picked this one up just because, I don't know, I'm a male. I like boobs. And I tried to pre-order Taiyo Matsumoto's number 5, volume 2, but they cancelled it on me. Luckily, when I went to Forbidden Planet, they had volume 2 and volume 3. These have really beautiful art front covers, and they span. They got, I don't know what it's called. It's a fairy flap. Is it a fairy flap? Yeah, this has beautiful cover art. I don't really want to spend anything, but look at that. One big long art piece. Then I picked up one volume of Hell's Paradise. Look at that. That is disgusting. I didn't realize until, I don't know if it was my suitcase that I had that I stuck it in that made it all crumpled, but it looks like there was water damage, and it's the only volume that's like this. I think I may have picked up a defective one, sadly. And then this, I think, brings me fully up to date with Golden Kamui. Now, volume 6, 7, 8 were really hard to find. I think I got volumes 9 and 22 as well, but they are not here. They're somewhere in my shelf, and I don't know where they are. Right there. I'm too lazy to go pick them up. And then volume 12, 16, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, I have a couple more volumes left. I picked up Witch Hat Altia. I think that's how you say it, Altia. I've been wanting to pick it up for a while, and I found out today that it's actually getting an anime adaptation. So hopefully these ones don't go out of stock, because to be fair, every time I go to the comic book store, they've got copies of these, but who knows? Maybe they'll go out of print at some point, out of stock at some point. And then I picked up Alice in Borderland. Volume 2 just got announced as well. I don't know anything about this one. I heard it's nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland. It's just the name of the title. I love Kodansha books. They're so big and they're so floppy. So when you read them, the pages just fall apart. Sometimes I'm prying Viz books open. They're just difficult. And then the last volume that I picked up was Dorohedoro, and as I mentioned earlier, I kind of regret getting this one because this was the only volume available. They had 3 or 4 volumes of the series, and that was it. They didn't have anything else. As it stands, I think it's very, very hard to come by. Maybe one day I'll collect the rest of it, but maybe it was the wrong time to start picking up Dorohedoro. Oh wow, it's on its 8th printing. It came out 2010. This is super old. And that was everything. Okay. Now I have to do the tedious part. I have to update the list. Okay, this is going to be the long part. First thing first, I need to get these all off my desk.